Hello, welcome to Veneza 10 on NTA News 24. We're broadcasting live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. I am Musbal and Wahab with the news. Coming up this hour, President Buhari confers national honors on 3 Nigerian intellectuals. Cost of governance. Federal government advised to suspend creation of new parastatals, agencies and commission.
Efforts are reinforced by scholarship. It is scholarship that reinforces and helps our cause.
Vice President Oshinbajo addresses law teachers, says rights of electorate must be protected. Thanks a lot for staying tuned in. President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria is keen on fostering excellence across board and will continue to celebrate those who contribute their quota to the difficult task of getting the country into the top brackets of outstanding nations. This was the conferment of a 2020-2021 Nigerian National Order of Merit Award to deserving citizens of the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the reports.
The award recipients for 2020 are Professor Oluyinka Olurotimi Olutoye, a world-renowned fetal and pediatric surgeon, represented here by his father, Oba Olufemi Rotimi, the Alani of Edoani Kingdom, and the late Professor Charles Ejike Chidume, a globally renowned professor of mathematics, represented by his son, Dr. Okechukwu Chidume. And the awardee for 2021 is Professor Godwin Samuel Ehagbuere, a world-renowned professor of mathematical physics with research interests and activities in non-commutative stochastic analysis, tropical partial algebras, and financial mathematics. The Nigerian National Order of Merit is the highest and most prestigious award bestowed by the country on its citizens for creative, intellectual, and academic contributions that have national and global significance.
I am proud to welcome the new laureates to this prestigious League of Citizens. You are not just a national treasure. You are now important milestones in the history of Nigeria's upward path.
Let me also use this opportunity to call on Nigerian universities, both public and private, to rise up to the challenge and continue to lead in innovative research targeted at providing solutions to the many problems affecting the country, especially post-COVID-19 era.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who congratulated the award recipients, assured them that the nation will continue to celebrate and hold up their achievements as a shining example worthy of emulation by upcoming young men and women in the country.
Please endeavor at all times to serve as beacons of hope and aspirations for the younger generation of Nigerians, reminding them that our survival and collective future as a nation ultimately rests on our being active participants in global developmental efforts, especially in science and technology.
The President appreciated the governing board of the Nigerian National Order of Merit Award for making transparency and love for the nation as the hallmark of their stewardship, saying the good work must be sustained.
The Nigerian National Order of Merit Award is one of the enduring national legacies that are held in high regard. I wish to assure you that this administration is fully committed to giving the recognition that it deserves by immortalizing its recipients who have taken this country to greater heights, both in Nigeria and in diaspora.
And on behalf of the award recipients, Professor Godwin Ehagbuere thanks the federal government for finding them worthy of recognition after what he described as diligent, thorough, objective, and rigorous selection process.
This is bound to inspire many persons around the world who regard us as their mentors, while potentially fostering increased interest in science and medicine in Nigeria, and also the groundbreaking applications of these subjects to national development.
Established 43 years ago, the Nigerian National Order of Merit Award recipients have now increased to 79. Each one of them adjudged to have epitomized the fineness of Nigeria's capacity for innovation and creativity. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Now let's talk of security. As Nigeria continues to stabilize our internal security, officers and men of the Nigeria Police must share in the vision and demonstrate professional commitments in the policing dreams of the federal government. President Muhammadu Buhari, at a retreat for senior police officers, also insists that the federal government is resolute in supporting new policing strategies that fully integrate other components of a society into policing. Clement Barikui reports that the three-day retreat is holding in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital.
Banditry, insurgency and kidnapping are some of the internal security challenges the police and other security agencies are making effort to contend with. The 2023 general elections, which is about 11 months away, present a new set of security challenges which further tax the professionalism of security agencies, particularly the police. Satisfied with the level of investment so far made in the internal security of the country, President Muhammadu Buhari, through the Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Maigari Dingyadi, is tasking the police authority to fashion out a clear vision that will translate into the stabilization of the internal security order and engender new policing orientation.
The objective of the reform is to give a new orientation to police personnel, evolve new policing strategies and operational standards.
Inspector General of Police Usman Akali Baba renewing the firm determination and clear vision to evolve a new police force that will continue to explore all available strategies in guaranteeing the security and safety of the citizens.
A new focus and orientation are being entrenched into the mindset of officers of the force.
Another way to increase the efficiency of policing is to also develop a multi-level policing.
I've always been an advocate for a robust redeployment of intelligence apparatus.
The retreat with the theme New Police Vision, a roadmap for stabilizing internal security, is for senior police officers at the force headquarters, zonal and state commands. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
An interagency collaboration is a pathway to achieve an effective delivery of security services. To attain this standard, the Police Affairs Ministry is engaging different security agencies on their roles. Francis Fom reports.
Reducing interagency rivalry amongst security agencies to the barest and enhancing maximum cooperation is the thrust of this meeting organized by the Ministry of Police Affairs.
It's about collaboration to achieve an objective, not competition, interagency competition. It is not about superiority of individuals between and among security agencies and security personnel.
Resolving the issues of conflicts, conscious actions and inactions of personnel to accord respect and observe team spirit among personnel of sister agencies, as well as enlightening personnel on their responsibilities were also discussed.
You must know your duties, you must know your responsibilities, you must know the overlaps and how you relate and integrate synergy with other agencies. So that's it. Education, education, education. If you don't know, you can't deliver. And there will continue to be crises as long as individuals don't train, individuals remain ignorant.
The ministry is stepping up its strategic role to sustain the game's recorded. Francis from NTA News.
Strategic leadership is critical for the fight against insecurity and development in Nigeria. Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello made the assertion in a lecture delivered at the National Defense College, Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has the reports.
These are participants of Course 30 of the National Defense College, drawn from the military, paramilitary and other security agencies.
The participants will read the course and come up with position papers on how to address some of these challenges.
With security threats in parts of Sokoto, Kaduna and Niger states, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello in a lecture stressed on the responsibility of state governors to effectively support security agencies with information and logistics to boost their morale and their internal security operations across the country. The lecture also harps on the roles and importance of coordinated non-state actors in stemming crime from the root and effective mobilization of village heads and traditional rulers in tracing and tracking criminality.
The only solution is to apply technology to control our borders. We need to tighten our border patrol to reduce influx of light arms and heavy arms into the country. There is need for more understanding between political heads and military hierarchy.
There are 102 participants in the 11-month course. From the National Defense College in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Ahead in the news. Alleged portal breakdown, National Identity Management Commission says all its services are accessible. This and more when we return.
This is NTA News 24 broadcasting from Abuja. You can watch us anywhere, anytime on the following platforms.
Start Times, Channel 101, Brick TV, Channel 743, GSTV, Channel 419, and Go TV, Channel 456.
For more information, log on to our website, www.nta.ng, or join us on our social media handles, Facebook at NTA News 24.
For comments, suggestions and inquiries, send an email to news24@nta.gov.ng or call us on the following numbers.
NTA News 24.
News and more news.
And to more news, Nigeria is now in its 22nd year of unbroken democracy with a series of peaceful transitions to power. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo says the rights of electorate is central to democracy and that must be protected by electoral laws and judicial interpretations in electoral cases. The Vice President was speaking at the 53rd Conference of the National Association of Law Teachers with the theme Law, Democracy and the Electoral Process. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Democracy and social justice are vital structures required for nation building, says Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, stating that this is the more reason why legal profession must maintain its integrity and ethos, as it is one of the pivots upon which civilization rests.
Courts are reinforced by scholarship. It is scholarship that reinforces and helps our courts to clarify their own thoughts and clarify their own reasoning. Where there is no alternative view coming from anywhere, where scholarship is silent, then we cannot blame the direction in which our legal institutions go.
Reflecting on the nation's journey into civil rule, the Vice President says the people have witnessed electoral contests in which mere membership of the ruling party is not a guarantee of victory, stating that these are signs of growth as a democracy, but which he says still has room for improvement. After attending the conference, the Vice President, accompanied by Governor Abdullahi Ganduje and some members of the National Assembly, visits the parent of Anifa Abubakar, the kidnapped and murdered Kano pupil.
And God doesn't make mistakes. Whatever God does, we accept in good faith.
In an emotion-laden voice, father of the girl, Abubakar Abdusalam, shows gratitude for the visit.
I'm grateful. I'm sincerely honored. The only thing I would say is to pray for him, to pray for the entire nation, so that peace will reign.
The Vice President consoled and prayed for the family and the people of the state.
In Kano, Jide Onifade, Anche News.
The rule of law is the foundation of justice in any society. Therefore, the umbrella body of lawyers in Nigeria, thus the Nigerian Bar Association, is championing the inclusion of physically challenged legal practitioners into the mainstream of the legal profession. A task force comprising members of a forum has been inaugurated by the NBA President Olumide Akpata to push the agenda of inclusion for persons with special needs.
Actually, have not actually received the attention that is their due. It is unfortunate that that is the status quo today, even years after the different legislation and statutes have been passed.
This forum will work as a special purpose vehicle for championing the removal of barriers and creating the enabling environment so that lawyers with disabilities can optimally function across board. It is high time we increase the professional content of our disability advocacy.
The legal practitioners with special needs are pledged to sustain advocacy on the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act signed into law in 2019 by President Muhammadu Buhari. The federal government has been asked to put on hold the creation of new parastatals, agencies and commissions to reduce costs of governance in the country. This forms part of recommendations of two review committees on restructuring and rationalization of federal government's parastatals, agencies and commissions submitted to Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa in Abuja. Mitaire Ikwen reports.
It's almost 10 years after the Orosaye panel recommended a reduction of federal agencies with overlapping functions from 263 to 161 to cut the cost of governance. Two review committees set up last year have come up with their reports and a white paper.
Placing a moratorium on the creation of new federal parastatals, agencies and commissions. B, to direct the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission to adhere strictly to the act establishing it and henceforth desist from approving salaries. And C, strict adherence by political office holders to the terms of their engagement, especially in relation to the appointment of aides.
The growth and personnel cost of some of the agencies were in the period when there was still embargo for employment. So those areas we've also said one or two words there. The government certainly needs to look into those areas as to what was responsible for such.
SGF boss Mustafa thanked members of both committees comprising former heads of service of the Federation for a thorough job, reiterating the federal government's determination to reduce personnel cost and wasteful spending in the public service.
As a matter of fact, the recent approval of increased duty to our allowances makes it more compelling for the federal government to take urgent steps in cutting down on costs of governance as a result of recurrent expenditure. The submission of your reports today gives us an opportunity to move quickly with concluding this almost 10 years problem.
Government is of the opinion that now is the right time to cut down on the cost of governance. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
By the judgment of political watchers, the government of the day has delivered a great deal of its campaign promises. So, how to protect the legacies of the Buhari administration was a major concern of this month's National Policy Dialogue held in Abuja. Well, I was there and I'll tell you that the monthly summit is being organized by the Office of a Senior Special Assistant to the President on Policy Development and Analysis. The current administration is winding down on its tenure and its performance already under scrutiny.
If you want to talk about Lagos Badagry, it's done. If you want to Abuja Kano, it's done. If you want Maiduguri Kano, it's done. If you want Oweto Bridge, it's done. If you want Enugu Port Harcourt, it's done. So everything that we used for campaign in those days have been done.
Claims of a presidential aide would go for test, and on the cards of discussants, the Buhari government scored high on its various developmental projects and policies, including fight against insecurity, roads and railway construction, implementation of Treasury single accounts, and tax credit system.
I want to say that the people of the South, South, and Southeast, and even North Central are grateful to him for the application of this window in making available the sum of 185 billion naira for the Calabar, Odukbani, Itu, Ikorekbene to Aba Federal Highway dualization, which has been awarded.
So I would still not allow the president to believe that he has succeeded by comparing himself with failures. He must compare himself with successes. The best way to keep your legacy is to look at people who are succeeding.
But then, in the midst of the concerns for legacy sustenance, they advised the president to ensure a credible election, to produce a credible candidate that will sustain the trajectory of development.
President Buhari should withdraw his last statement that he doesn't care whosoever succeeding. You have to be concerned about who your successor is. A true leader is somebody who is always trying to mentor followership, to mentor other people. We want to see thousands of President Muhammadu Buhari that is being acclaimed as one of the best materials in the world.
Buhari administration has demonstrated that government is a continuum by carrying on and completing many ongoing projects it met. That too is what participants here are expecting from succeeding governments. In Abuja, Muspa. For some days now, Nigerians have been treated to stories of a purported failure of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMS's verification portal. How true is that? Victor Azu examines the issues and files in this report.
The media space has been awash with headlines like this, suggesting there has been a breakdown of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMS's verification portal. The development is reported to have affected some public services requiring the National Identity Number NIN. So I went to the NIMSI headquarters to seek answers.
NIMSI provides the foundational identity, and being the foundation, therefore if there is any issues anywhere else, it always comes back to NIMSI. Where we have issues is with one of our service providers, where we are hosting the verification service, the raw NIN verification service.
The Director General stopped short of telling me that the issue has to do with Galaxy Backbone Limited, providers of certain information technology infrastructure for government agencies. He, however, explains that NIMSI's services are accessible, courtesy of its alternative channels.
Registration is ongoing. People will also get their own NIN. They can also check their NIN using the *346# hash. They can also use the mobile service and they can also use the tokenizations for verification service.
Not satisfied, I proceeded to Galaxy Backbone Limited for further explanation, but without much success. We have made efforts to speak with the Managing Director of Galaxy Backbone, Professor Mohammed Abubakar, on the issues. The man is busy. He tells me he cannot speak on camera at the moment because they are working with their customers to resolve the issues. But how soon? In the meantime, Nigerians are advised to download the NIMSI app for their NIN verification purposes. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
You have been watching the News at 10 on NTA News 24. Abuja still to come. Bill to regulate firearms passes second reading of the Senate. Don't go away. Thanks a lot for sticking around. Now let's talk some business as development experts have joined the workforce to master the dynamics of entrepreneurship to achieve gainful employment. We join Alika Opanachi Harwe for details.
With micro, small and medium enterprises constituting the larger chunk of the workforce, development experts have emphasized that taking solace in entrepreneurship will complement the gains of MSMEs, which has engaged over 60 million Nigerians. Civil servants have equally been employed to imbibe the culture as they prepare for post-retirement life.
Entrepreneurs have facilitated the continued evolution of the Nigerian economy from times when goods were bartered to today when MSMEs employ as much as 60 million people and contribute about 48% of the Nigerian GDP. Our mandate at the Abuja Enterprise Agency is geared towards accelerating business development in the FCT through designing and implementing projects, programs, and activities that will stimulate business growth, thereby creating employment and reducing the raving poverty in our country.
Different agencies of government, even Federal Capital Territory Administration and the Abuja Enterprise Agency have been facilitating programs to achieve this quest. With business news, Alika Opanachi, Arua.
Well, Alika Opanachi is reporting again that Nigeria Export Promotion Council (NEPC) is partnering Benin Republic Joint Commission to enhance seamless cross-border trade relations between the two countries. The reports.
Executive Director and CEO, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, Dr. Isra Yakusak, says Nigerian Export Promotion Council is committed to mainstreaming informal trade within Nigerian Benin trading corridor and will ensure adequate capturing of export data among other advantages.
We at the NEPC fully support the establishment of the Nigerian Benin Joint Commission because of its importance to non-oil export trade. As we all know, there's a high volume of trade between Nigeria and Benin Republic. Sadly, these trade activities are mainly informal. This informal trading pattern has been largely attributed to inadequate border control mechanism between the two countries. We at NEPC, we are willing to work hard and ensure the mainstreaming of this informal trade.
The collaboration is aimed not only in strengthening relations between Nigeria and the Republic of Benin in trade, economy and investments, but also to promote socio-economic integration, encourage formal and legitimate trade, as well as deepen cultural ties between the two countries.
Benin Republic and Nigeria should also have a permanent joint commission because we have so many border challenges, we have so many trade challenges, we have so many security challenges, and we also have opportunities, not only challenges, so there are opportunities that we can harness if we have a permanent joint commission. We believe that there will be standardization of trade policy, economic policy, even security policies, including even education.
The executive director also played host to the due operators who came to discuss the challenges exporters face in moving their goods and cargoes from the hinterland to the ports.
The export domestic warehouse is a way of making sure there is no congestion in the ports. They discongest it to all the geopolitical zone. Then you can stay in Kaduna, export your goods directly to US or Canada. You can stay in Lagos, you can stay in Lokoja, export your goods. You don't need to go to and queue up in One or Lagos or anywhere.
This, they maintained, will help in the ease of doing business in Nigeria. In Abuja, Alika Opanachi, Arua, NTA News.
Nigeria is developing a national roadmap for the management of response to criminal or intentional unauthorized acts of contravening regulatory control. Director General, Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority, Yao Idris Service, at a workshop for national and international experts in the management of atomic energy. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
Over the years, nuclear
and other radioactive materials have increasingly become preferred tools in the hand of criminals and terrorists for creating threats to global security. In its bid to tackle nuclear terrorism, the International Atomic Energy Agency is helping policymakers and experts worldwide to improve nuclear security and manage radioactive sources.
We will together review the identified capability gaps, prioritize them, and agree on a nuclear security response roadmap in which gaps will be addressed and the national response capacity will be enhanced.
As Nigeria is developing a national nuclear security detection architecture, the Director General insists the response component cannot be overlooked.
This caused the need to develop national capabilities to respond to criminal and unauthorized acts involving nuclear and radioactive materials.
The framework will establish a mechanism to coordinate the various activities undertaken by several competent authorities during the response to a nuclear security event.
Workshop which seeks to drive a systemic recovery of materials considered as out of regulatory control is one of the expected outcomes of the 5-day convergence. Adebola Brookslyn, NTA News.
Focusing attention on the National Assembly, where the Senate is making efforts to provide a legal framework for a comprehensive system of firearms control and to provide matters connected therewith. National Assembly correspondent Dayo Ogunshola reports that the bill intends to regulate movement of arms and ammunition, among other things.
Old saying that the picture is worth 1,000 words reflects the powerful effect that the art and creative expression has on human understanding and communication. Hello and welcome to another fantastic edition of Visual Impressions on NTA. I am Umar Muhammad. Now, art therapists use the process of self-expression and the resulting artwork to help clients understand their emotional conflicts, develop social skills, improve self-esteem, reduce anxiety, and also restore their life to normalcy. Let's find out how that is being done.
The use of art as a therapeutic treatment had not really been recognized here in Nigeria, not until recently, when artists began to use art to heal patients and also as a form of relaxation.